In this video, I will be reviewing DTC Deposits Services Guidelines. Make sure to watch Part 1 as it covers important facts regarding 1. MMTLP 2. Next Bridge Hydrocarbon Shares 3. Distribution and 4. The AST Transfer Agent, as well as several other topics. Each part supports the preceding and succeeding parts. By watching them in sequence, you will better understand my opinions, speculations, and arguments. Before any security can be distributed, reorganized, settled, or chilled, it must first be deposited. Therefore, let's turn our attention to the Deposit Service Guide. Go ask Google to find the DTCC website, then enter the DTCC website and scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on Rules and Procedures under the Legal and Regulatory category tab. Then scroll down to the list of service guides and click on the Deposit Service Guide. DTC's deposit services include branch deposits, reorganizations deposits, this may apply to MMTLP. Custody reorganization deposits, this may apply to MMTLP. And various other services that I recommend all MMTLP investors review. However, I will only cover the services which I personally believe relate to our MMTLP situation. There is so much information it is difficult to synthesize into small entertaining videos. So please review these guidelines for yourself and let me know in the comment box if I missed anything worth mentioning. Starting from page 10 of the Deposit Services Guide, the DTC provides various definitions for terminology that is being used for our MMTLP situation. I want to bring your attention to the definitions for SIX DTC terms. 1. Book entry-only securities, B.E.O, an issue authorized for deposit at DTC in the form of one or more global certificates for each tranche of an issue. Ownership positions and transactions in each security are reflected in DTC's records and in the records of participating banks and brokers. 2. A chill is defined as a systemic way DTC to prohibit participants from processing certain activities, e.g., a valued delivery chill will prevent participants from making valued deliveries from their account. 3. Contra-CUSIP are used to indicate a participant's tendered positions, representing instructions submitted to surrender securities. The Contra-CUSIP provided by my brokerage, Questrade, is M074526.90, and therefore indicates that Questrade has tendered its position to the DTC as a surrendered securities. 4. CUSIPs are the identification number created by the American Banking Association's Committee on Uniform Security Identification Procedures, CUSIP, to uniquely identify issuers and issues of securities and financial instruments. The CUSIP number consists of 9 digits. The first 6 digits identify the issuer and have been assigned to issuers in alphabetic sequence, and the next 2 characters, alphabetic or numeric, identify the issue. The 9th digit is the check digit. 5. Letter of transmittal is a document signed by the security holder in which it agrees to tender its securities pursuant to the terms of the offer. It contains information about the certificates and quantity being tendered, as well as where and to whom the payment should be made. 6. RRG account means the reorganization account created to hold the position of a security undergoing a reorganization activity. On the payment date, DTC reduces the security's position in the participant's RRG account. Now, let's scroll down to page 23 and read custody deposits. Custody deposits involve deposits of securities that are eligible or, in some cases, ineligible for all of DTC's services. More information is in the Custody Service Guide. DTC will notify participants of a rejected deposit by sending or making available rejection notices. Participants are encouraged to research the rejection and either 1. Resubmit the corrected deposit, or 2. If the rejection resulted in a short position, take the necessary steps to cover that short position. DTC further explains short positions, stating, and I quote, if a debit drives the participant's account into a negative balance, short position, the participant's settlement account at DTC will be debited by 130% of the current market value of the short position until the short position is covered. Now let's go to page 25 of the Deposit Service Guide, titled, Reorg Deposits. DTC explains reorganization deposits service as allowing participants to deposit any DTC-eligible securities undergoing or having undergone mandatory reorganization, as well as full or partial calls. Mandatory reorganizations generally involve an exchange of securities for one or more of stock or cash or dividend. FINRA's notice states the event type as exchanged, meaning MMTLP must be deposited as a reorganization deposit and could only be deposited after the effective date of December 13th, in my opinion. Under reorganization deposits, the day after certificates are received as a reorg deposit, DTC sends the material to the agent with the appropriate instructions, typically a letter of transmittal. The letter of transmittal generated by DTC also shows entitlements expected at DTC. Now let's read DTC's explanation for ineligible securities on page 32 of the Deposit Service Guide. DTC states, do not deposit securities subject to exchange, and only deposit as a reorganization deposit. Do not deposit securities on the day before their DTC ineligible effective date, except for custody service deposits. As stated earlier, FINRA's notice states the event type is exchanged, meaning MMTLP must be deposited as a reorganization deposit and could only be deposited after the effective date of December 13th because it is being exchanged for an ineligible DTC security. Therefore, MMTLP would be deposited back to the DTC as a reorganization deposit, in exchange for the next bridge hydrocarbon physical certificates, in my opinion.